South Africa may be home to big cities known to many around the world, but the heritage and culture of this melting pot of a country can be best seen in the many villages and small towns scattered in the valleys and plains of its vast countryside, known as the Karoo. Today, we share top 10 most charming towns and villages in South Africa that promise unforgettable experiences. From stunning natural wonders to culturally rich cities, we unveil destinations that captivate your imagination and inspire your next adventure. Starting with number 1, Franschhoek. The town of Franschhoek is primarily famous for its centuries-old vineyards, but it's the unspoiled Cape Dutch architecture that makes this settlement charming to visit. The town gets its name from the Dutch Franschhoek, meaning French corner, due to the fact that many French Huguenots fleeing religious persecution in Europe made their way here from 1688. The town is also one of the oldest in South Africa. On a visit to this town, filled with pretty architecture, you can learn about the history of the French and Dutch colonial settlers as well as go on wine tours. At number 2, Tulbagh. The old town of Tulbagh, it was founded in 1699, is a veritable mecca for those interested in being surrounded by historical architecture. Having been home to an equal number of Huguenots and Dutch settlers, there are a mix of styles at work here and as such a long list of heritage buildings to discover and admire. This town is something of a hidden gem. It is picturesque, with dramatic mountains looming in the distance, and it's also a wine-producing region, which makes this beautiful town even better. At number 3, Hermanus. This Western Cape town is famous for its wine, whale watching and beaches. The most well-known beaches in town are Volklip Beach and the Broad Grotto Beach, which look out onto Walker Bay, a protected area that's where up to 70 whales at a time can be spotted. Each year between August and September, hundreds of whales travel to the shallow waters of Walker Bay, which has a place of the top 10 whale-watching locations according to WWF. Combined with its dramatic coastal scenery, this makes Hermanus a great place to visit. At number 4 in our list, Genadendal. Meaning Valley of Grace in Afrikaans, Genadendal is located at a dramatic location in the Riviersonderend Mountains, which is just a 90-minute drive from Cape Town. The town was originally called Baviaanskloof and was built up around the site of the oldest mission station in South Africa, the Moravian Mission Station, which was founded here in 1738. The sign outside the village invites people to visit the historic square and mission and step back in time, so your time is best spent here wandering around this tiny but atmospheric slice of South Africa. At number 5, Clanwilliam. This town in the Olifants River Valley, Western Cape, with the Clanwilliam and Franschhoek dams, is particularly picturesque. With a population of 7,600, Clanwilliam is a small town that dates back to the 1660s when Dutch pioneers named the Olifants River after the numerous elephants they discovered on its banks. The first farm arrived in the valley in 1732, when the town was known as Jan de Selsvlei, but the name change occurred in the early 1800s with the arrival of British colonists. Today Clanwilliam is known for its cluster of pretty buildings, including the 1864 Dutch Reformed Church, its Rooibos tea, and the prime hiking in its nearby hills. At number 6, Greyton. This little town is a rural charmer, where you might encounter a wandering donkey or cow as you explore this quintessentially South African countryside settlement. Like so many in the country, this place began life as an agricultural village in 1854 and soon grew into the town it's known as today, quaint and quiet. The town also has several nice restaurants and cafes to sample when the heat gets too much, a combination of old-world charm and modern conveniences that keeps even South Africans coming back for chilled weekend breaks. At number 7 in our list, Graaff-Reinet. One of the oldest towns in South Africa, Eastern Cape's Graaff-Reinet earns a place on this list because it is packed full of heritage buildings for you to admire on your visit. Relatively large compared to many other towns that we have featured, the residential buildings here are whitewashed and screaming for photos to be taken of them, particularly those on Parsonage Street and Somerset Street. At number 8, Jeffreys Bay. A coastal town in Eastern Cape Province, Jeffreys Bay, more commonly known as J Bay, has made a name for itself as something of a surf mecca. In fact, it's known as the prime surfing location anywhere in South Africa. There's even a surf museum in town, complete with exhibitions and surfboard displays, tracing not only just the history of the sport but the development of surfing in the town itself. This grew out of the town's hippie community of the 1960s and 70s, and now J Bay finds itself one of the fastest growing urban areas in the country. Surfing fans should visit now. At number 9, Pilgrim's Rest. This town is the place to come if you want to learn more about the gold rush in South Africa, being the second, after Mac to attract prospectors to find their fortunes in 1873. Not very much has changed here, so Pilgrim's Rest, located in Mpumalanga province, is a very charming place to visit. It's practically a living museum, but there are also some quirky things to see here, one being the Royal Hotel, with a bar located in an ex-church which was transported here from Cape Town. At number 10, Prince Albert. Located on the edge of the Great Karoo, an unimaginably vast wilderness area like Australia's outback, the town that would become Prince Albert was founded in 1762. Its long history means there are fine examples of Cape Dutch, Karoo, and Victorian architecture scattered around town, with 13 of them designated as national monuments. Good quality restaurants, art galleries, and the very famous Art Deco showroom theatre. It's not far from here to the extremely scenic Swartberg Pass, a road which has run through the mountains of the same name since 1881. Thank you for watching Vacation Plus. We hope you've been inspired to explore new horizons and experience unforgettable adventures. Subscribe for more travel inspiration and tips. Safe travels, and see you next time on Vacation Plus.